I thought it'd be a great time as we bring in the new year. Let's look back at some of our favorite moments or stories or memories. I'll start because one of my favorite, remember when we both did the apple cider vinegar?
I do remember that, not fondly.
That was fun though, man. That was fun. I appreciate your ability to have a little fun with me.
I'm still burping that up, man.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay, so what do you think? You have any favorite moments or memories? There's a lot of shows together.
Yeah, and I was sitting down thinking about this. My favorite moment of Cup of Coffee is when it was first born, right? I mean, actually first conceived. We were sitting in our studios in the office, and I said, what do you think about like starting up, let's start 3 new shows. Let's start Community Spotlight Show. Let's do a show together, you and me, and let's do another show, which is now DJ Kyle's show, right? Mm-hmm. And that moment, and you said, yeah, let's do that. That moment of conception is my favorite moment of a cup of coffee, just that day when we were sitting there talking about, and then here we are 152 shows later.
Yeah, millions of viewers. I mean, we are so blessed. We have people that send us fan mail from different states. I want to give a shout out to our good buddy Kevin and Deb, Kevin Hornick, who's in our football pick'em. He has been just amazing friend to me personally, great supporter and encourager to the entire Lake TV team. And you can't forget about Mike and Debbie Betterton in Colorado Springs, Colorado, that watch every Saturday. And you've got some friends back in Colorado as well, correct?
In Dallas that watch us every Sunday. Every Sunday they sit down and watch a cup of coffee, and they've watched Wild Will go from, poor to now rich and all that stuff over the last 4 years. And
That's funny. I'll tell you, I have a lot. The hometown heroes, some of the individuals in our community that we've gotten to dedicate some time to. I've loved our Central Ozarks Medical Center's Hometown Heroes segment we had done. Local political coverage. Look, we never started this show with the idea of it really being news or investigative journalism, and at times it's morphed into that when we feel that there's a need. And we've had some big headlines from former Mayor Jerry Morawski and Dennis Klotzer, the alderman with Lake Ozark, who also owns the local radio station, that conflict of interest. We've went after school board members and superintendents and anyone that we just feel is not being truthful or honest. And so dappling in the local news coverage has been enjoyable. It's been a lot of work, been a lot of stress, a lot of headache, a lot of sleepless nights, but it's been enjoyable and rewarding because I would look at any of the battles that we've decided to take on and throw our, and fight for, if you will. We've not lost a battle.
I tell you what, you've done so much work on some of those stories. So now my favorite moment was when we conceived the show, but my favorite story is back when we were in the middle of COVID and Lake Regional put out that letter to the public saying, sometimes you just have to comfort people as they die.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, but we will not give them ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine. And so we jumped on them for that, and we took a lot of heat. I mean, we were getting called idiots, buffoons, just everything you can think of, because we're saying, well, if you're going to let people die, why not let them try ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, and so when they would call us names or call us stupid for saying something like that, we said, well, they count some COVID deaths when somebody comes in with a gunshot wound, right? And people said, you're idiots. And we came back the next week with those stories proving that that's what they were doing, right? And so that line of story, when we were doing that, we took a lot of hits, we took a lot of heat, a lot of people called us idiots and stuff, but we stuck to our guns and we told the truth, and sometimes that's not easy to do. That was my favorite story that we've ever done, even though it was difficult.
And now look, Chris, now the things that we said, not only gunshot wounds to the head, but the amount of deaths that are now been proven have been classified as COVID deaths for that government funding to go to those institutions that were, actually filling out those death certificates or putting the reason behind the death, and how crazy that was. But we're seeing a lot more, and at the time, there wasn't as much national coverage. Now it's pretty well known that we, as a nation, botched the COVID situation. We've botched the vaccination situation with the recalls from the Johnson & Johnson to the adverse effects. The list goes on and on. And so as we look ahead to 2024, we'll be redigging into that because we're starting to see some scary, alarming things from the vaccinated and individuals who were forced to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And so before we go further into that, I thought that was great. I got to tell you, over the last year and a half, been sober now about a month and a half, and been clear-minded and able to look at the totality of what we've been doing. And I have enjoyed growing alongside you as a journalist and as a co-host. And honestly, just working alongside you has been an honor on this show because it's not easy. It's easy for us because we are able to talk. It's easy for us to talk. But with or without prep or headlines, I'm confident we could come in here and for 30 minutes just talk, and you make it easy even when Will's rambling or misuses words.
You never ramble.
Oh, that's all Will does is ramble. But I got to tell you, I have just enjoyed getting to do this with you. We're getting ready to hit 3 years together, and we're excited to announce that we've agreed in terms with Jill Ray and Slumberland Furniture to extend a cup of coffee with Will and Chris right here at Slumberland at the Lake for season number 4. And we're not satisfied at this point. We don't think we have gotten cup of coffee to where we want it to be. And I'm excited to buckle up, roll up our sleeves, and bring our viewers, our friends, and everybody that supports the program more engaging stories and content through Cup of Coffee next year.
You know, and one of the things I'm so impressed with is when you jump into a story, you really do a lot of work. I mean, the behind-the-scenes work that he does on some of these stories, like you call up and you talk to the mayor, you call up and you talk to this, that, and the other person. You go and book a room at the Lakewood condos to see what's going on with all of that and stuff. It's really just amazing, and I think all of you guys recognize all the work that he puts into that behind the scenes, but it is pretty impressive. And sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes that rips you up.
And I got to be honest, it wasn't that way early on. It was just, if that was a hot topic, Will is great. Put the headline on, share the Lake Expo story, and give your opinion. And most of the time, without being educated, without doing research, and you learn when you do a story, it's important to talk to both sides, let them know the story's coming, ask questions. Look for stuff that you can substantiate, and it's important to use right phrasing and not say that it's factual because a lot of times we can't prove it's factual and we just share our opinion. But I can tell you it's been a great journey for me, and I have enjoyed becoming a journalist, becoming a reporter through this program in a way that I didn't think that I would enjoy or be able to do. And I'm certainly not there. I'm still very rough around the edges, but I've learned a lot over the last couple of years, especially this last year. And that's why you'll notice we don't do as many and as often headlines and news bites because it is so much work to do it right. And I don't want to do anything that's not done right moving forward.
Well, and there's a difference between our opinion and journalism. And I think you've done a really good job of saying, okay, well, this is just my opinion. And then in the journalism stuff where you've gone and dug up stories and facts and stuff like that, you make that clear too. So that's pretty impressive. And a lot of the news organizations don't do that anymore. I mean, CNN certainly doesn't do that. They have no factual news. It's all opinion basically. And MSNBC and Fox News are basically the same way. It's hard to find real news anymore because most of it's just crap opinions of whoever's talking at the moment. So
you can still watch or tune into Tucker Carlson, man.
He is great.
That's real news.
That is the real deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only is that real news, but that's engaging, it's entertaining, and it's factual,
Yep.
and it is rooted in truth, even when it's not easy. And so I love that you do still get that. All right. So we talked about some of our favorite moments and memories over the last 151.
What's your favorite feel good? I mean, our favorite story for both of us, I think, was the COVID stuff and the Lake Regional stuff. What's your favorite feel good story from over the years, the last 3 years?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if it's a story, but it's kind of my personal story that's unfolded, and that's been my beautiful wife, Unique, and my 3-year-old daughter, Brinley. It's been amazing to watch. Unique and I have been together now 5.5 years, and us together, growing together, individually but together, and we're such different people today than when we first fell in love. And so watching that partnership grow and be catered to by both sides, it's been so enjoyable. And the blessing that is our daughter, Brinley, who is, little over 3 years rolling into the New Year, it's just flying by, and the amount of time that we get to spend together. And that's probably been my favorite feel-good story in my own, is my own story.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's funny because my favorite feel-good stories actually have been those things, like when you and Unique got married. That was just such a fun, wonderful time.
Yeah.
And the same thing with DJ Kyle and Shay when they got
Yeah.
married. You know, such a fun, wonderful time. Those are my favorite feel-good stories. A close second is some of your Citizen of the Week, you know, and because some of those are so personal, especially for you. You broke down and shed some tears
Yeah.
sometimes, and those are wonderful things, wonderful moments. That's a close second to the wedding.